Welcome to the Week 2 edition of the San Diego Prep Insider Football Podcast. Chris Smith, Christian Pedersen, and Montell Allen. I'm Tommy Morris here. And we're going to start with the top 10s. We're going to go into some game picks as we always do. The games we're going to pick this week: Patrick Henry Bishops, Granite Valhalla, El Camino Rancho Bernardo, Castle Park Vista, RBV Westview, and West Hill Santana. Guys, how are we feeling today?
I'm feeling great.
Yeah?
Love it. Excited
I'm
about
pumped,
football.
man.
Montell, how are you feeling all the way over there in virtual land?
Yeah, great first week of football, man. Excited.
So before we get to our game picks, we got to do our top 10s. Montell, we'll let you go first. Who are your top 10 teams in San Diego?
I'm ready to go. So at number 10, I got Mater Dei. Number 9, I have San Marcos. Number 8, I have Mission Hills. Number 7, I have the LCC. Number 6, I have Madison. Number 5, I have Oceanside. Number 4, I have Rancho Bernardo. Number 3, I have Helix. Number 2, I have St. Augustine's. And number 1, I have Cathedral.
What about you, Chris?
My number 10, I got Poway. 9, I got Mission Hills. 8, Mater Dei. 7, Madison. 6, La Costa Canyon. 5, Rancho Bernardo. 4, Oceanside after that impressive win last week. 3, I got Helix. 2, Saints. And number 1, Cathedral.
So for me, I've got Oceanside 10, San Marcos 9, or I guess for San Diego Prep Center in general. Oceanside 10, San Marcos 9, Poway 8, 7 is Mission Hills, 6 LCC, St. Augustine 5, RB 4, 3 Madison, 2 Helix, and 1 Cathedral. If you notice, that's pretty much the same thing. It is the same thing that we had for the first week because I have a tough time with these out-of-city games. So that's why, I know you guys, so how did you guys handle those losses to some of the teams from other states and other parts of the state? Montell, how about you?
Playing Timberview, who's one of the top teams in the nation for Helix, and for them to give them a really good ball game and something to the end, it's kind of hard to judge. We always think of Caesar just being the mighty, mighty dogs, but that's just in San Diego. When you step outside of San Diego, there's other great teams that other guys are going to face. So it's really, the compare and contrast is great to see where we are as far as on a national level. But on a local level, I think, Helix is still one of the top dogs, big time. I think Madison, taking that tough loss, against Vista Marietta, who was right down the street, but we just know it's tough every year. Again, gives us a gauge of how we are in the state. So I kind of just measure how good they are nationwide, statewide, and how we compare against them. And if we win or lose, that's how I judge. But I can't reward someone for losing. If even as great as Helix is, I think they're number 1 team all in our county, but since they lost, they have to drop a little bit on my list.
Chris, what do you think?
I would have to agree with majority of what Montell said there. None of these games are easy games. None of none of them are cake games, if you will. When a coach puts a tough team like Tenview or Vista Marietta on your schedule, everybody looks at that as, if we beat this team, then we've proven ourselves. I like the coaches that go out on a limb and take a chance playing tougher Division I programs outside of San Diego. I think it has a statement about their program, the confidence they have in their players and their coaching staff.
Yeah, I always like to see those because it's fun to be able to compare those things. You always hear the stuff from LA, even other states like Utah coming in here, but fortunately it didn't work out for some of those teams. So we'll take a look at our scoreboard so far before we enter predictions. If you notice, we picked 6 games and one person has 6 points. That'd be me.
Who's that?
I have 6 points.
He's hot! He's hot!
Montell's sitting in second with 5, and you two both have 3.
Hey, Scott, before you go on, you lucky that penalty happened at the end of the game for Saints, or it would have been a tie. You know it. So, Santa Fe Christian, they wouldn't have got that penalty. I think he could have kicked it and made it a tie, but my hat goes off to Olympia for the big victory. So I'm 5-1.
Hey, I'll take it any way I can get it. The first game we're going to get to is Patrick Henry playing Bishops at University City. Chris Smith,
Well,
where's yours?
I am a Patrick Henry alumni and love my Patriots. No disrespect to 3D, Mozes Mooney, or Justin Woodley over there at Bishops, but I'm going to take the Saints. I think that wide receiver / running back Dominic Sibbles and their safety over Patrick Henry, RJ Ruckle, are going to give those guys fits. You've got one team that's got close to 50 players. You've got another team that's got about 25. I think that roster size is going to make a big difference when it comes late in the game. So I'm going to take Patrick Henry in this one.
Christian, what about you?
I have been wrong and caught some heat for going against Bishops before, so I'll go with Bishops. You mentioned Patrick Henry having a lot of skilled position players that are really good, but they're going to have problems generating enough time to get those guys the ball because of the push that Daniel Anderson and company are going to get. And I don't really play into depth because I'll take 11 guys playing both sides of the ball all day long if they're guys that want to be there and know what they're doing. So give me Bishops.
Montell, how about you?
This is a good game. I think, Swivels is the man for Patrick Henry. Great athlete, great player. San Jose State is already all over him. I think they've already offered him already. But Bishops is ready for the one-trick pony. I think Bishops is going to be really well coached. I think Anderson is going to be in that backfield all day and all night. And Woodley and those guys are going to be flying around. I'm going to take Bishops in this one. I think they got the right 25 that's going to be out there to make them get the win.
Yeah, and then the guy who's going to be lining across Civils the whole time is going to be Mozes Mooney. Last game, he had 5 catches, 98 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also had an interception return for a touchdown. He wasn't the only one that had a good game for them. Jacob Jackson had over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, and the quarterback, Jeffery Jackson, had 290 yards passing. So they played a big school last week. I know when I was talking about Santa Fe Christian Olympian, I was saying, the bigger size, but yada, yada, yada. But I really think Bishops has this one. They have, like you said, they have a small roster, 25, 26 guys, but it is the right 25, 26 guys, as a coach told me earlier in the season. Next game, we're going to go to Granite Hills at Valhalla. Chris Smith, what do you think?
I love a bruising back. Jerome Johnson over there at Valhalla is one of my favorite running backs here in San Diego. I think he's going to be too much for Granite Hills. I'm going to take Valhalla in this one.
Christian?
I agree. Jerome Johnson, great downhill runner. I love a guy that gets physical. I think this one really just comes down to, though, it's at Valhalla. I think this is the kind of game that goes at Granite Hills. Granite Hills will take it, but I'll take the home team. Give me Valhalla.
Montell, what do you think?
Like I've been saying all along, Jerome Johnson could be one of the best running backs if he runs angry. If he runs angry this game, it's going to be a no-brainer. I think it's going to, I'm picking Valhalla anyway, but I want to see Jerome Johnson get angry. So, Jerome, I'm calling you out. Let's get mad, get angry, and run the ball hard, and let's see what you actually made of. Granite Hill defense will step up and show them a show, but I got Valhalla.
Yeah, Valhalla is coming off of an impressive 30-point win versus Scripps Ranch. Granite Hill is coming off of a very close game against San Pasqual 2-point win, so I'm going to go with Valhalla. Here, we're going to go to a North County game that is going to be, this is going to be a real good one. We got El Camino going to Rancho. Bernardo, what do you think?
For me, I can't bet against Montell. The kid's on fire. He's unstoppable. Last week, unfortunately, they didn't have Milan Bryce in the lineup, and they didn't miss a beat. So I'm going to take Rancho Bernardo for this one.
Christian?
It's funny you mentioned Mark Salazar. He's going to be on our next episode on September 7th on Fox Sports. You get to know him a little bit more. Kid has one of the sweetest throwing motions I have seen in a long time. So I'll go with Rancho Bernardo, baby.
Montell, you're going to take El Camino here, or you're going to stick with everyone else?
Well, different, baby. I'm going EC.
There you go.
And this is why I'm going EC. I think it's a big dose of Chris Brown. I think they're going to run the ball and they're going to run the time clock. Salazar, I love you, man. I think you're a great quarterback, but you can't do nothing if you're not on the field. So I think it's ground and pound by El Camino. Get him down, drain that clock a little bit, have that defense. And without Milan Bryce being there, I think it's all throwing show. So they got to play zone and make sure they put the pressure on Salazar so he can't throw it. I'm going with El Camino with the upset.
I thought about this one was a tough one for me because I thought about El Camino for a second, but all the reasons you guys mentioned for Rancho Bernardo, I'm going to stay with Rancho Bernardo. RB for me. In this one, we're going to go to the south part of the county now, away from the north.
South Bay, baby.
Yeah, we're going to go to Castle Park at Mar Vista.
This one's going to come down to a running game for me. I'm going to take Mar Vista and Sparrow, the running back down there.
I'll be going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Castle Park.
Really?
Castle Park, baby. I know that they had a week.
As proof for his back and forth, he had Mar Vista written down. He literally just switched it. He literally just switched it.
Yeah, Castle Park got out of the gate really slow last week against Hilltop, but I think that we're going to see a team that's well coached and ready to bounce back after a tough loss, and they're going to take it to Mar Vista.
Wow, so the coin toss lands on Castle Park. Montell.
You call me crazy? You call me crazy? I like it. I like your style, Montell.
It's all the way, man. Mar Vista's going to take. I don't think Castle Park got it in them this year. I mean, they fought the good fight against Hilltop, but I'm not very impressed with Hilltop yet this year at all, and they lost to them. Mar Vista had an impressive win. I'm going with Mar Vista.
I'm going to take Mar Vista as well. I think they're a program on the rise. Going now to back north. We're going to go to Rancho Buena Vista at Westview. Chris, what do you think?
Well, last week RBV really struggled. That score is 55-0, and poor Ace Roach was running for his life. It doesn't get any easier this week. They've got Westview. I think after the beating he took last week, it's going to be more of the same this week. I think that Westview is simply just too physical, and I think Ace will be running for his life again, so I'm going to take Westview in this one.
I'll go with Westview. They've got a lot of good skill position players on the offense, so I see no problem with them struggling to score well during this game.
Montell.
Blitz. All over. Keep coming after him. Make it play by Westview.
I've got Westview as well. AJ Leonard, great running back. They use 2 quarterbacks as well. Bo Nelson and Jackson New, both great players. I think Bo Nelson's a guy you will start to hear a little bit more about. He's only a junior right now. Started as a sophomore last year. He's smaller, but he's a good quarterback. So our last game that we're picking, rivalry game here, we got West Hills going to Santana. Chris, what do you think?
West Hills.
Ooh.
Give me the Wolfpack, baby. Oh! West Hills.
Oh! Wolfpack and right with you. Santana just took a beating last week. I don't know what they're going to do. So I'm going with West Hills.
I know what they're going to do, and I'm going to take Santana. I like Santana. I like Bobby Wallace, the running back. Last year he had 1,226 yards, 13 rushing touchdowns, 16 overall touchdowns. He had an okay game last week. I didn't pick it up.
Have that this past week at all.
He had say like 76 or something like that.
That's a lot different than having 100 yards though.
I think we'll pick it back up and they'll go Santana. I mean, hey, you guys need to make up some games on me.
That's what I'm saying.
Opportunity, all
Thank
three
you.
of you, all 3 of you on one.
We'll try it. I'm right there.
All right, so we'll pull up on the screen right now, recap of all of our picks for this week as you take a look. And a lot of opportunities for people to jump around because we had a little bit of differences there. So before we get out of here, anything anyone wants to add about what they've seen so far, stuff for the future? Chris, I'll let you go first.
I just want to tell the guys, keep balling out. It's exciting to see football back in San Diego. Love Friday Night Lights. There's nothing like it, anywhere in the world. Cherish these memories, guys. Cherish these memories, the time you have with your teammates and with your families.
Christian?
I like seeing that we saw a diversity of playmakers. We saw some quarterbacks, we saw some wide receivers, we saw some defense. There's a little bit of everything sprinkled around the county. It's not a down year by any measure. It's not a year where we're looking only at, we're not just looking at Verdell or just looking at one defense. We're looking at a lot of different types of players to highlight. So I'm pretty stoked for what the next couple weeks are going to bring us.
Montell, anything you got?
Yeah, I just want to, guys, I think the week started off well. Unfortunate incident happened at Sarah and Lincoln with that, with them having to stop the game early due to the incident. I heard it wasn't that big of a deal, but the referee stopped it early. I wish both those programs to bounce back really strong. Let's keep the game going as well it is. I hope Helix and I hope Madison are able to bounce back. Helix has a big game against Clayton Valley. I'm going with Helix. Hopefully they beat the Northern California guys in the Heritage Bowl or whatnot. And just everybody stay safe, man. I want everyone to be healthy this year and just let everything sort out from that point. So we're all good.
And one thing I want to add, episode 2 of The Grind popping out. So check that out. Also, first episode of San Diego Prep Insider, the TV show on Fox Sports San Diego, coming to you September 7th at 10 p.m. Depending on the Padres game. We always have to give you that little warning because if the Padres game goes long, the show starts late. So if you want to DVR it the next day, which would be September 8th at 8 in the morning to make sure you get the whole entire thing. But it's always more fun if you just watch it.
That's what I'm saying,
right? That's what I
And one more thing, Tommy, NFL Magazine next month is dropping real soon. It's going to drop after Labor Day that week. So guys, look out for it.
Ooh, can I hear any spoilers about it, or is it still everything secret?
This is a secret. This is a secret one right here. Everyone's got to have to look out for it.
All right, I need someone else to play us out here. I don't want to spoil the secret or don't trust myself.
All right, well, that kind of wraps up our show. Here are my picks. That right there is a check mark above Mar Vista, but I'm going with Castle Park. Thank you very much, guys, for joining us this week. Chris, Montell, Tommy, Christian, San Diego Prep Insider. We'll see you guys out at a game.
I want to spoil the secret so bad.
Deuces.